So pretty much, Brian Steele makes this motion. Let's listen to Brian Steele's motion, right? This is the motion that he made earlier when he said, now I have a motion. Now he's coming back to the end. It was deferred for later, and now he's getting into it.
But I said that there has been evidence of something different.
Okay. Well, that probably wasn't the best way to handle it.
And if I'm not saying I did, but I may have misspoke. If I misspoke.
Oh, sorry. I went to the wrong one. Here we go. First,
You
this is the first one.
allowed me to continue so I don't have to ask the jurors to leave, but I made a motion.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And Mr.
Thank
Matthews
you for
reminded
reminding me of that.
And what happened was, and please check the record, but what I remember happening was Ms. Love makes a speaking objection, comments, puts her own testimony before the jury and states that the testimony, that there's no evidence and it's already been proven, and I know that there's a strained relationship between Jeffrey Williams and Rich Homie Quan. That is wrong. Rich Homie Quan has given interviews shortly after January 10th, 2015, all the way up to 2024, consistently how close he and Jeffrey Williams are. The prosecution said that Rich Homie Quan, his real name is Mr. Lamar, that he was coming to court and he would be testifying. And the prosecution did not call him. He was on a short list. He was under subpoena. They did not call him. I have a good faith belief. They didn't call him because, what? I'm sorry?
Yeah, you need to.
I have a good faith belief that the state did not call him because he gave exculpatory information about his relationship with Jeffrey Williams. So for the prosecutor to then say in front of the jury, and please check the record to make sure that what I'm saying is what was said by Ms. Love, but I immediately would have made this motion if you did not allow me to preserve it. And a lawyer can't tell the testimony. This is what happened. Brian Steele knows this. That is untruthful. In fact, I know the opposite.
Uh-huh. All right. So my recollection is that Miss Love said that the evidence shows that after a certain date, one of the people in this picture no longer hung around Mr. Williams.
Okay, good.
That's a closer
That is not true.
account.
What the state was trying, their crazy theory, in my opinion, is that in the fall of 2014, Mr. Williams somehow cared about Rich Homie Quan signing with a third party. His name is Mr. Brian Williams, which is Birdman.
Right.
And somehow that because Donovan Thomas said, no, Mr. Rich Homie Quan, don't sign with Birdman, that Jeffrey Williams has now a motivation to kill Donovan Thomas. None of that comes out. And it's untruthful. As you saw, they are playing together, they being Jeffrey Williams and Rich Homie Quan, on New Year's of
Well, you know what?
2014.
There are plenty of band members who play together and hate each other. So them playing together doesn't establish anything. But yeah, that's all. Yeah. So Miss Love, you maintain that it is in evidence. So can you
That there was,
what part of the evidence and who said it?
yes, and I would ask if the court has in front of it
Okay, so before we even let her go forward, y'all see what I was saying earlier, right? Miss Love was actually right in that argument just now that she didn't say that she just knows it. She did say the evidence has come out that these people stopped dealing with each other after a certain date. So Brian Steele misheard her. He was going to make this motion. Actually, he never even said what the motion was, actually. He wasn't saying what his motion was. I don't know if he was going to motion for a mistrial or what, but he just started explaining and he never really got to it. But either way, whatever the situation is, Miss Love morphed her objection, or really she was just asking for clarity about the year on that flyer. She morphed that into getting out in front of the jury that she believes that there's evidence to show that Rich Homie Quan and Young Thug fell out around that time. So That's why I said she kind of got sneaky with letting her objections. It wasn't even an objection. She was talking through the whole thing. She didn't even say she objected. She asked for clarity. And then she snuck in that little thing about Rich Homie Quan and them not being cool. And that's the part that Brian Steele is really tripping about. So she's right about what she said. She's off in what she's about to say here, but I'm gonna correct her and in a second.
Exact words, or if there's a way
I
to
don't
grab.
have
Okay.
their exact words in front of me, but I'm sure we can get them by Monday.
Okay.
But it was this,
So what I was referring to was the testimony that has been given that after a certain date, at least one witness, there may have been two, testified that the relationship between one person in that photograph and defendant Williams changed. I can definitely say that.
All right. Y'all notice that Love did not want to say Rich Homie Quan's name. I believe it's because he just passed away. She's trying to be respectful. She don't want to speak his name and just bring him into it like this. But because Brian Steele is pressing her right now. I believe that Brian Steele is trying to get her to say something that is going to piss the general public off as it relates to what she's about to have to say about Rich Homie Quan in this situation. I think that Brian Steele is using this tactic to press her. I don't think that he believes what he's saying in this moment. I think he's doing it as a way to trick her. Not even trick her, because she's trying to wiggle out. She knows what's happening. But he's using it as a way to get her to say something that's going to piss people off about Rich Homie Quan. Clearly, he's pushing her into it. But she's not saying his name. She keeps saying a person in the video, in the photo.
Mr. I can definitely say that apart from that testimony that the jury has already heard, personally, I definitely have a great faith basis
okay, but that's
for
not
saying
what
it,
you
but that is not what I said. I
Evidence.
said what I was referring to the second part of what was asserted by counsel.
Do you know which witness or witnesses it would have been? Because I think Miss Weaver's probably transcribed a good bit of this, and she's pretty fast. I'm happy to ask her to.
I believe it would have been Mr. Thomas Sr.,
Okay.
who was asked about the relationship between one of the people in the photograph or having seen them.
All right.
Okay, this is where I'm going to correct it right here. It wasn't Mr. Thomas Sr. Mr. Thomas Sr. was the one that y'all wanted to say that Rich Homie and Thug was beefing. Mr. Thomas Sr. actually said, I haven't been at any video shoots with them together. It was tension between Nut and Birdman when they came to the video shoot and saw one of T.I.G.'s artists, Jacquees. So it was not Rich Homie Quan. And that's when they took Rich Homie Quan off the witness list. When Donovan Thomas Sr. came up there and said what he said, that it was actually Jacquees that the issue was over and it wasn't Rich Homie Quan. And the actual witness, and she also went on to say it was Detective Dennis. The actual witness who said this was DK. Walter Murphy is the one who said that they fell out, but he didn't seem to have any details about why they fell out. But Walter Murphy is the one who said in the interrogation room that there was some type of fight at Club Crucial, and it was between these two factions, these two sects, these two groups, and Rich Homie Quan pretty much needed protection from Young Thug and YSL and these guys. So he went and got up under Donovan Thomas, and Donovan Thomas and If Gang began protecting Rich Homie Quan from Young Thug. That came from DK. So Attorney Love is correct in the situation where she says this already came out in front of the jury. Like I said, when we're going through this trial, we got to keep it a bean. When somebody is right in the situation, they right in the argument, whatever it is. Brian Steele, I think, though, knows what's going on. I think he's trying to push her into saying something negative about, probably trying to push her to say something about what Rich Homie Quan said in their private interviews which made her add him to the witness list. That's what it seems like he really wants to get out of her. What did he say when y'all interviewed each other one-on-one? But because he passed away, it seems like both of these attorneys are tiptoeing around really saying, hey, the state did set all of this stuff and now he passed away, so he can't even come clear any of it up. And they're trying to go with this whole idea that this beef happened or whatever. But anyway, the witness that actually said this was Walter Murphy. So remember I said there's like 3 theories from witnesses now that kind of go to where the beginning of this beef started. You got DK saying that it was something between Rich Homie and Thug that started from a crucial fight, Club Crucial fight. Then you got Woody saying the beef was never between Thug and them. It was always between himself, like Woody and Shell Kell, and it just spilled over into everybody else. And then you got Antonio Sledge saying it was me beefing with Antonio Sledge because he was messing with my girl. So, you know, it's a lot of different theories, but Attorney Love is misremember or forgetting who actually said it. It definitely wasn't Donovan Thomas Sr. Actually, Donovan Thomas Sr. messed up their whole theory when he said what he said. So let's keep listening. Let me see if anything else of substance is said here.
After a certain time, or that it was strained. That's why I'm asking. And then I'm not certain whether Detective Dennis talked about it. That I'd have to look back.
Okay. Why don't you look back? I mean, did Mr. Thomas Sr. testify for any real length of time? I mean,
He
would
was
that
there
be
for a
easy?
day.
Okay, that'd be easy enough for Miss Weaver to put together. I'd imagine Mr. Dennis testified for longer.
Yes,
All
but
right. Maybe you could look at your notes on that and maybe pinpoint that more directly, and then I could ask Miss Weaver, with some parameters maybe.
And I'll also just check with the team because it's not been a topic that has been discussed. So we've discussed those things anyway, and I can clarify because it was not. It was, I think that was Miss Hilton's witness, so she'd probably have a better memory than me. But the reason that I asked exactly what I said is because I think I chose my words carefully before I said them.
Okay.
And I want to make certain of exactly what I said, and I want to point back to exactly what I was referring to.
Okay. And Miss Winfrey over the weekend will.
Dang, she just gonna make Miss Winfrey work over the weekend? That's foul. Y'all seen how Miss Winfrey was looking when she said that. Miss Winfrey gonna look out during the weekend and like, dang, Winfrey wasn't feeling that. Now, this argument continued. Let's get into it. And the judge had to really play referee and say, y'all are embarrassing right now. Hold up.
But I said that there has been evidence of something different.
Okay. Well, that probably wasn't the best way to handle it.
And if I'm not saying I did, but I may have misspoke. If I misspoke on a date, I wasn't doing it deliberately. And the objection is that shouldn't be 2015. Are you sure, Mr. Steele or Your Honor? I don't think that's 2015. And the evidence shows, excuse me.
Don't interrupt.
And the evidence shows that there was no relationship. They weren't speaking. That's what I'm complaining about.
Yeah. She said the evidence shows. Okay. I mean, that may not have been the absolute best way to handle it. And I do wish that both of y'all, y'all clearly get under each other's skin and try to divorce from the case the fact that each of you is the attorney handling certain evidence or certain witness, because honestly, both of you probably would do your tasks for your clients better if you could focus a little less on the fact that y'all get on each other's nerves. Okay. I mean, you do not have to, it does not have to be like a gladiator fight every time anybody says anything when it's the two of you. It doesn't come off well for anybody, honestly.
Yeah, y'all look bad doing this.
That's just my 2 cents worth.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'd also like to say that every evidentiary objection does not need to be made, even if it's a valid one. So.
Even if it's valid. If it's not crazy, man, let it go, man. Now, if this was a Shonda Rhimes TV show, Attorney Love and Attorney Steele would be secret lovers having an affair on the low, and that's why they keep arguing like this in court, to throw everybody off from the fact that they secretly love each other. And you know what I mean? Like that's what this is, because you know, I could see why Steele would really have a real problem, because of this case is nasty. I'm just saying, if this was a TV show, they would be dealing with each other on the low. All right. Now, let me read some of these comments, because I'm gonna see how y'all interpret the stuff that I've been interpreting, and see if y'all agree with what I've been saying, or if you disagree, that's fine too. Let's see. Let's get to these comments. Nikki said Lil D sick and can't testify. Nope, they confirmed today that he is out of the hospital, and he is 1,000% going to be called to testify. They said, nah, he coming. Trust me on that. Miss Love said that earlier today. Trigger J said, when the judge said they need to come to a resolution, what the hell that meant, if it's still going on. Nikki said, you the only one that caught that. Hippie Easter said, nobody knows what's happening in this trial. Nikki said, you need more recognition because you catch stuff people don't. Word life. Thank you. Esquire said, them empty threats. Ray Star said, it's really a mistrial waiting to happen. It is. Hippie Easter said, 153 watching, 59 likes. We need likes and subscribe. Please, y'all, get the likes up. Thank you, Hippie Easter. Adams Gerard said, when they show the jury Thug having that kid throwing up gang signs, he gonna get that gang charge. Oh yeah, no, that video was crazy. Now, Thug, you can't be following in Mr. Sledge's footsteps having the kids doing it. But yeah, that looked bad. I remember that video. They showed it a few times already too. Shard also clarified the beef was over a girl and not a YSL gang beef. Yep. Waystars, how about the athletes that wipe their nose? Yep, that wipe their nose thing, you know. Esquire, yep. 93 people hit the like and the bell. Yeah, please hit the subscribe and the bell. Hippie Easter, still trying to bring that in, but the judge ain't going for it. Ray Stars, gang signs, Hippie Easter. I'm now afraid to touch my nose. Yeah, Esquire is starting to look like Shell Kel's in the middle of everything. It does seem like everybody's beef does stem with Shell Kel. It does, honestly. Let me revert back to like my brain when I was like a young dude. Shell Kel is the hardest name in all of this. I'm not gonna lie to you. Shell Kel is a fire name. Like if you in the streets, that's the name you want to have. Like Shell Kel is fire. As a name. I'm not talking about the person. I don't know him. I don't know nobody involved. I'm just saying, if you had to pick a name, if your name was Kelvin and you needed to pick a name, like, yo, I'm about to go full blown in the streets, Shell Kel is a good name. I'm not going to lie. Like, you know, sue me. Let's see here. Esquire said, Keith Adams' cross exams are excellent too. I miss his crosses. Still need to take a break and let Adams get back up there. Yeah, I think Keith Adams was bodying those. Like Keith Adams seemed to be his specialty. What I was interpreting from the early parts of the trial, his specialty is those eyewitnesses. If y'all notice, that's when they bring Keith Adams in. When somebody is an eyewitness to something, Keith Adams comes in and makes them look like they actually didn't see anything. You know what I'm saying? Keith Adams actually makes it look like they weren't even outside. They was in their living room with their eyes closed. You would think that they weren't even there after Keith Adams is done with them. So that's his specialty, is gaslighting. He is the master gaslighter of this trial. It's amazing. He will make a person like second guess everything that they saw. He freaking cross-examined a lady who herself, she got robbed. And he made it seem like she didn't even see none of the people that robbed her. She got robbed in broad daylight with her child and everything. Keith Adams cross-examined her, and it was like she never seen anything. It was crazy. I mean, he's a master gaslighter. Shout out to him, man. Esquire, let's see. Go Roro said, yes, Keith Adams, I love him. He is great. Hippie Easter. I'm sure Steele and Adams are in perfect agreement. Yep. Esquire, agree. I love their synergy. Esquire, I'm pretty sure the way they're setting the plea deal up is either illegal or close to illegal. Definitely predatory at best. Trigger J said, judge bias, man. Yep. Rob said, three-pointer. Esquire said, Steele was playing heavy petty. Yep. Ray said, she makes every objection, but still until the judge, until the judge agrees. Yeah, Hippie Easter says, we know the judge, any judge will be with the state. The defense needs to work through. Yep. I'm Saved by Grace said, can you read the letter someone black law student wrote to the judge, please? You want me to read that? I did see that. I don't know if I'm following him on Twitter, but I definitely saw that letter. Why you want me to read it? Because that letter is about Rule 22. So just tell me why you want me to read it. I'll check. I'll get the letter. I know what page you're talking about. Oh, dang. Now I got to figure out Give me the name of their Twitter page, because I definitely saw that on my timeline earlier. But also tell me why you want me to read it too, because that was a letter about Rule 22. Ulysses Ware, what's going on, family? And again, y'all check out Ulysses Ware, his case. It's a very crazy case. We had him on a couple months ago. Ineffective assistance of counsel. Habeas corpus will set him free. Okay. So, Mr. Sledge, you might want to check in with Mr. Ulysses Ware. Reign supreme, love is completely unprofessional, attempting to throw off Brian Steele, no case, so result to dirty tactics. Yep. Hippie East, I'm sorry, but at this point, why didn't they say RIP or Steele's God forbid every time they reference Rich Homie Quan? I don't think anybody wants to be the first one to say that he passed away. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think anybody wants to be the first one to say it. Esquire, still be finding out all the tea. Monktoon's lawyer seems like, oh, I ain't reading that. Hold on now. Seems like a punk. You mean punk in a different way. Okay, you didn't put punk. You put punk. Okay, cool. Reign Supreme laughing. Adams, when they show the jury Thug having that, oh, you said that. Okay, what words did she say then? Right. Esquire said, what words did she say then? Reign Supreme said, love is despicable, low vibrating, rude, mean girl. Jesus. Straight to the point, from your point of view, have they proved anything on Thug yet other than he's part of YSL? From my point of view, remember, in this instance, being part of YSL is the only thing they need to prove. That's count one right there. If they prove that you're part of YSL, and it does seem that they have established that you are part of YSL, they don't need to find out that you did any other crime. They need to get anybody of the 28 defendants that are indicted and any of the people that are YSL members that are unindicted. If they find that you committed an overt act within 5 years of the indictment date, which is like May 20-something, 2022, if anybody, indicted or unindicted, has committed an overt act in furtherance of the gang, then everybody that has been established as YSL members can be convicted of count one. Keep that in mind, my good people. I'm saying that because that's what Attorney Love explained to the court that day that she talked about this. So I'm not just trying to interpret law. I'm repeating what she said. Esquire said he said it like that because you can't say mistrial in front of the jury. Adams Gerard said they're going to put up the videos of when he started YSL. He was gangbanging. Alan Wells said, she said new evidence came out. Yeah. Go Roro said love has been turtle walking for a minute now. She's the new judge, put her in her place. Since the new judge put her in her place. Reign Supreme said fact. Vanessa Fluffy Murray said Caleb Bumpus played an audio today of Rich Homie Quan telling the police that Thug murked Nut, but he can't prove it. Oh, okay. I heard that. I forgot all about that because somebody was on Twitter saying that it was Rollo. Rollo, the rapper, or whatever you want to call him, the investor, said that people was calling Rich Homie a rat, and now they're showing him all this love. And I was saying, who called him that? But now I remember. Thank you, Vanessa, for refreshing my mind. That did happen. That 1,000% happened. There's a recording of that. That for sure happened. You're right. Reign Supreme said it explains why Jacquees' career never took off like Rich Homie Quan. Hold up. Wait. My bad, y'all. My joint jumped. Rich Homie Quan had his own company called RHQ Management. Reign Supreme said Rich Homie Quan was never testifying against Thug. Kinda said Rich Homie Quan and Thug is fired. Chaz Focus said what it do was goody. Reign Supreme said that part was insane. If you see that judge, why aren't you running your courtroom differently? Go Roro said, look at Love's desk. The trial and desk are all over the place. Judge laughs too much, but she wants to charge a crime for a banana. Right, she was tripping about that banana earlier today. Jeez. Reign Supreme said, definitely secret lovers. Hippie Easter said, I want Love and Steel in a cage match. Reign Supreme said, Shell Kell is fired. Young Film said, anybody named after a gun is off limits. Go Roro said, I tried sending super chats, but I've been doing too many this week and reached the limits, but I got you later. No, look, Roro, do me a better favor than a super chat. Find any part of the podcast that you felt like I was saying something good, screen record it, and then put it on your social media page. That's better than a super chat. I appreciate that. Trigger J said, what's up with the judge rushing still, but let DA Love go on and on? Facts. Ray Star said, let's hear Love's chair again. No, the chair thing, I had to be childish for a quick second. My bad. Go Roro, Trigger J. Go Roro. It's a long one, that letter. Dynasty, they're putting everything on record, so when the detective comes back, they're going to ask, where's the evidence? Esquire, you keep agreeing with Love and that Rico, but still ain't show us the case law on that. No, I ain't agree with Love. I said that's how Love is handling it, and that's how Fonnie Willis is backing her up on it, and the judge has not openly disagreed with it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not, I wish that they wouldn't interpret that law like that. I think that is beyond reckless. And I've been saying from the beginning that this is a trick case. This is like a smoke and mirrors case. This is a, you know what I'm saying? You know when you blow out the candle and it keep firing back up? This is what that is. I think that this is like you think you're about to get a fair match and you don't even know that they didn't cook the books the whole time. That's what I think. I'm just saying what Love said, like for sure. Let me see here. Putting everything on right. Raina Watkins said, Jesus, please call a mistrial. They need a mistrial for sure. Straight to the point says, so do you think Love sends Sledge to jail for violating his plea deal? Sledge is going for sure to jail. But it's not even about, yes, he's going for violating his plea, but it's about that deferred sentence. I don't know if they're going to mess with everybody who kind of like went on the stand and played with the plea deal. But that count 30 deferred sentence thing, that's the biggest mistake of his life right there. I don't know what he was thinking. Excuse me, y'all. I got my phone turned on. What's going on, family? Let's see what this. Let me see. No, let me stand. My bad. It went down a little bit. So do you think? Okay, Rick James said Rollo called Rich Homie a rat himself. Oh boy, wow. Ray Supreme said, I got you on a screen record. I appreciate that. Ray said 177 people go hit the like button. Yep. Trick hand. You see, she ain't showed us the case law yet. Yeah, she has not. And I don't think she's gonna find a case law on any of the stuff that she been out here citing as it relates to this RICO case and the unindicted and using overt acts that happened after the indictment. She ain't popped up with none of those cases yet. So Young Film said, did you see the part where the judge threatened Love with a mistrial? Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Trigger J said, bro, guilty or not if you were a juror. If I was, it's a reason. I'm not even eligible for jury duty. They're never going to call me. Everybody listen, I ain't even going to say it. No, not guilty. Trigger J. Also, did you see the part where the judge objected for the state? Yes, I've seen it. The judge has done that a few times. The judge has also made arguments for the state on the state's behalf. And that's why the judge kind of got on Ms. Love about all of the argument that she's been doing. She's telling her, stop arguing everything. If she said that yesterday, I think it was, stop arguing everything. She like, I could always just go ahead and give a mistrial. And Miss Love is like, I definitely don't want a mistrial. And the judge is like, well, stop arguing everything. Like every little thing does not need an argument. Miss Love liked to argue though. Ray Starr said, Thug still not guilty. Esquire said, Stillwell walking on Thomas unaliving. I honestly think they'll all be found not guilty on the Donovan Thomas situation because there has never in this situation, there's never been enough evidence to convict any of them. That's why in 2024, they're still trying to do this thing. Like it didn't happen in 2015. It's not going to happen. They don't have the evidence. Unless the ops come tell on them, it's not going to happen. Even remember the dude, Reggie, that was one of Nut's best friends that got shot out there? Even they didn't even ask him on the stand, who did you see come out the car? This is very strange to me. Why didn't they ask the victim that was standing right there that got shot, that was right out there in front of everything, who said, I seen the Buick stop for 20 seconds and start shooting. Why didn't they ask Reggie, who did you see shooting out the car? Anybody else notice that they didn't ask Reggie who was shooting? The fact that a victim, an eyewitness to a murder, was not asked who did it tells me that the state knows for a fact that these people, or they know for, I ain't gonna say they know that they didn't do it. They know for a fact that there is no evidence to say that they did it. There's one thing saying that they did it, and it's an interview of Kenneth Copeland in June of 2015. That is the single only piece of evidence that they have that ties Young Thug to that shooting. they refused to even ask the eyewitness who did it. Who did you see out of that vehicle at 6:20 p.m. on a Friday night outside that barbershop? Who was it? Who did you see in the passenger seat? Who did you see lift up out of the sunroof? Because they say nobody had masks on, right? They didn't even ask the victim. They have no evidence. Yes, I believe what Esquire just said. Stillwell is going to walk on that murder. I believe they will on that one. But count one is the real dangerous one because that's the tricky one. Reign Supreme, I love Hilton's face when the judge said mistrial. The judge is coaching the state. Facts. Trigger J said, did you notice the lie about your mama and the tell the courtroom video, the state having evidence, which is a repost, and the Brian Steele showed the actual clip when it was posted? Yeah, I remember that. And it was before the murder also. Go Roro said, then the previous DA said case, it would not fly. He decided not to go to trial. Facts, because there was no evidence. Well, didn't Reggie say it was a Bonneville? Yeah, Reggie did say it was a Bonneville. He said it was a gray Pontiac Bonneville. He was like, it was vivid. It stopped for about 20 seconds and it was a shootout. People were shooting back at them. They were shooting at us. I got hit in the stomach or whatever. I think he said he was in the stomach. And then they drove off. He said it was definitely a Bonneville. He don't forget that. And the other guy said the same thing. The other guy said that his name is Sammy Davis. I don't want to call him the crackhead, but the fiend that got up there, he said the same thing. It was an old model Pontiac. So this infinity theory is funny. Trigger J said the state, oh dang, it went away. It said message retracted, so I can't see what you said, Trigger J. Casey said, I saw an interview where Rich Homie Quan said Woody was lying about shooting up the barbershop. Why would he lie about that? I saw that interview. That interview just came out a couple of days ago, which is crazy, RIP. But I don't think he was saying he lied about shooting up the barbershop. He was saying that I think he was saying that Woody is just a liar, period. Because he did say the barbershop got shot up, but it wasn't crazy and it was opened back up the same day. I think what he was trying to say dude was lying about was because Woody, for whatever reason on the stand, said that Rich Homie Quan was definitely afraid of his homeboy Threat. Like he was super scared of Threat. He had put 25,000 on him to get him killed and get him shot. And he actually did get shot back then around that time. So Woody was trying to put the shootings of Threat on Rich Homie Quan. I think that's what he was kind of saying. Like this dude is just an all around liar. That's what I think he was saying. But I could be wrong. Young Film said, we never saw Bonneville come across the screen before the shooting. Esquire said there wasn't an infinity in the video I saw of the shooting. There wasn't one. Young Film said, I respect all your takes, but you off on the Bonneville thing. It was an infinity. No, I'm not saying Bonneville versus infinity. The eyewitnesses said it was a Bonneville. It's not up to me. I'm just telling y'all what the witnesses said. Reggie said the car that shot him was a Bonneville, a gray Bonneville. Woody is the only person that said an infinity was involved in that shooting. Y'all got to remember that. Woody in that interview is the only person that said that. Esquire said, I didn't see an infinity. Straight to the point said, so was Woody and Sledge the only two that got convicted for the Thomas murder? None of them got convicted. They got charged. And no, they wasn't the only two that got charged. There was multiple fake chargings, but they all got thrown out because Woody was lying. Esquire said, or sunroof open. Yeah, I also didn't see anybody hop out the sunroof and do that shooting, so I don't know. I don't want to say your name wrong, but Miss A. Ward, Atalaya Ward, he was saying the barbershop was not shot up as in damaged up. He said it was up and running shortly after. Yeah, he was saying it wasn't like a crazy shooting. It got shot up, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't a crazy incident. So